That, of course, is Mark Carney dancing at his victory party when he won the Prime Minister's chair a few weeks ago now. And he's dancing and having a gay old time and mouthing the words, "I cheat to get what I got." How appropriate, especially for the leader of a party who has been, well, they have been accused of doing just that over the last several elections spanning 10 years. It just keeps getting better. Welcome to One Dumb Pilgrim. I'm Woody. Let's get rolling. But first, throw us an apple. Like, subscribe, share it around. Really gives us a help with Mr. YouTube. Well, it appears that cheating is a way of life with the Liberal Party. And if Mark Carney couldn't win a majority on election night, it appears that Elections Canada and the judiciary are determined to give it to him afterwards. A Quebec riding was flipped 13 days after Election Day by one vote, of course, to the Liberals. And apparently they found 500 mail-in votes days after the election has closed in a Toronto riding, and they've gone against the will of the people there as well and flipped that seat to the Liberals.
We have been working on something big. I've been working with Greg Phillips. He has a deep background in election intelligence.
We identified in Atlanta 242 mules that went to an average of 24 drop boxes. But Philadelphia alone, we've identified more than 1,100 mules.
What is a mule?
Person picking up ballots and running them to the drop boxes.
This is not grandma out walking her dog. Bad backgrounds, bad reputations. They are interested in one thing, that's money.
And in no shape, in no way, in no time is that legal.
This is organized crime.
Do you have video evidence?
4 million minutes of surveillance video around the country.
So this is 1 o'clock in the morning.
Don't we all vote at 1 o'clock in the morning?
On one night, this person, this mule, went across 6 counties to 27 different drop boxes.
I call it the Mexican mafia, seriously, because they work like that.
It's just sickening to me.
It's not a leap to say this would have made a difference.
They have ruined Election Day in the United States of America.
Without free and fair elections, we are not a democracy. We are a criminal cartel masquerading as a democracy.
You know, mail-in votes, they are a scourge. They're a curse of our election system. They need to be completely eliminated. There's no need for them. Technology has outstripped their use. If someone is bedridden or ill in the hospital or an old folks' home, if someone is going to be out of the country or province or state on the election day, all these individuals can be handled via Zoom or a similar method. Their ID verified on screen and everything recorded. If a caregiver is needed, they can be on screen as well. It just makes sense. The vote can still be secure, it can still be private, but everything else is recorded, and we've got verification that that person exists and voted. The mail-in ballot system was corrupted decades ago by our enemies. It used to be a sacred day, Election Day, and we used to guard it viciously. Well, it doesn't seem to be guarded very closely now. And here's a Liberal government bureaucracy accused of the very thing for the past several elections, and they may very well be up to the same thing again. Once again, where are the protectors of our freedoms and liberties? Where are the protectors of our values and beliefs, our Canadian laws? Where's the RCMP and CSIS in all of this? Why are their hands tied? Why can they not raid the appropriate offices and get the information that Parliament legally demanded the Liberal Party turn over last fall? Still haven't done it. They won't do it. Your oath, ladies and gentlemen, of the Serve and Protect community of Canada is to Canada and Canadians and to our laws, not to the ruling political party. Why are not the individuals named by whistleblowers not being investigated vigorously? Some of them appeared to be members of parliament. What is going on? Unless some honesty is returned to our government, we are lost. We will never get these answers, and Mark Carney's not going to give them to us. Not now. In a recent news conference, Mark Carney said he's from Alberta and he knows how Albertans feel. Well, no one's buying that, Mark. You left Alberta and Canada a long time ago. It's impossible to believe that. It was just a year or two ago that at a WEF, a World Economic Forum, of which you were on the panel of, someone said you were Canadian, and you denied it.
Pam, I'm coming to you in a second, but Mark, you look like you were about to.
Yeah, it was a tell.
As a European, as a
European, I am a
European,
actually.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh.
an Irish citizen. Yeah, so there you
welcome.
go.
Welcome.
Speaking as a European.
I'm not Canadian, I'm European. I have an Irish passport. Look at me. I have an Irish passport. Right. He hasn't lived in Canada for a dozen years. He identifies as European, and we just elected him Prime Minister. Well done, Canada. Well done. Just a quick comment about something that Brian Lilly of the Sun News Network revealed a while ago now, that the Joe Rogan people reached out to the Conservative Party and Pierre Poilievre to get on his podcast before the Canadian general election. And apparently the Poilievre people said, no, not interested. Mr. Poilievre, if you didn't know about this, if someone within your team said no without bringing it to your attention, if you haven't done it already, they need to be fired. You need to get rid of them because they have been working against you from the start. And anyone, absolutely anyone that knew about this and didn't tell you, they should be gone as well. We can do without frenemies. And if you heard about this before the election, you should have still contacted Joe Rogan. Seems like a very reasonable man. He would have put you on and you would have crushed it. You would have nailed the interview. You always do. Thousands of Canadians would have had their minds changed over that podcast. You would have reached millions of Canadians that would have normally never known anything beyond the headlines that the mainstream media screams at them. It would have changed everything. It would have given you the Prime Minister's chair, and I think you know that. Anyway, onwards and upwards, back onto petroleum and Alberta independence. Virtually everything in our lives would be gone without petroleum and its byproducts. And to get the oil to processing facilities, we need pipelines. They are by far the least environmentally damaging of all the methods. Think about trucks and tanker ships. What do? They use fuel to deliver fuel. It's not needed with a pipeline. Pipelines, oil refineries, these massive projects, they take years to complete. All the pipelines that leave the province move through Hardisty first. If you were to lay pipe directly east from Hardisty, across Saskatchewan, across Manitoba, to Churchill on the Hudson's Bay, you would now have deep water access to all the markets of Europe. Deep ocean tankers could take our liquefied natural gas, oil, and other products through to markets in Europe that Justin Trudeau turned down just a year or two ago. Britain, Germany, France, the Nordic countries, Ireland, almost all those countries were clamoring for our liquefied natural gas. And Justin Trudeau, the brilliant businessman, part-time drama teacher, said no. We don't need billions of dollars to help Alberta. We don't need billions of dollars to increase our gross national product and help all Canadians. No, we're not interested. That would mean that we'd have to build pipelines. It would mean we'd have to build a liquefied natural gas plant. Well, we can't be doing that because our economic enemies don't want us to. These pipelines could have been built in the 1950s, in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. They could have been built then. They never were. They will not be built in the future. There is absolutely no way that they will do this. Our economic enemies want our petroleum products going where they are now and nowhere else. From 1905 to 1930, Alberta didn't even own its own resources. And I don't think the federal government has ever recovered from Alberta getting control of their own resources in 1930. They've never forgiven us for that. And they're determined to keep us under their thumb. We can't believe anything they say. Nothing they've done in the past was followed through with. Nothing they say in the future will be followed through with. Our Eastern masters do as they're told. Central Canada will pull out the same playbook they've used for 120 years on Alberta and the West.
We better grab this signature, this paper, and run before anybody changes his mind.
Leading up to the independence vote, the No's will try to push the vote off as long as they can. They will do everything they can to disrupt our government, disrupt our province, disrupt our people, and they will try to get Danielle Smith run off. We can't take this for granted. It's going to escalate every month leading up to the vote. We cannot let them push the vote off. We can't allow them to push us around. On the day of the vote, we need to do everything under camera. The voting, the counting, the comings, the goings. They will cheat to win if they're able, and they've demonstrated time and again they are able. We must be vigilant to not let this happen. Our enemies will try to influence the vote with outside forces. Agitators will swarm the province if they haven't started already. Antifa is going to show up, other protesters. They're going to try to rig ballot boxes. They're going to try to scare people into voting and doing what they want. We can't allow it to happen. We've got to push back and not get pushed around. There can't be any mail-in vote. No way. We're going to introduce corruption if we do. Our enemies will try anything to derail the independence movie. Carney will negotiate hard. Maybe he won't negotiate at all. Maybe he'll let other people do the negotiating for him. But a few months, 6 months, a year down the road, a few months before the independence vote, Carney and the Liberals will come out and say, yeah, hey, we're with Alberta. We understand your grief. We're with you, baby. We're with you. Yeah, we're going to give in to your concessions. We're going to get things rolling. They won't. They have no intention of following through. They will promise the moon and deliver nothing. Not even a moonbeam. He's going to promise anything he has to get the Alberta independence movement derailed. And then it will get bogged down over the coming years with inquiries and eco-studies, and demonstrations will be unleashed and funded by our economic and cultural enemies. So a government conference will turn into an ecological impact study on bullfrogs, which will lead to a royal commission on mud and on the viability of the pipeline, to be followed by an Indigenous report on how it will destroy the land. It won't. And upset the Great Spirit. You put a pipeline in, sure, there's going to be some land disruption to start with. It will all grow back. It always does. Within 3, 4, 5 years, you won't even know there's a pipeline there. It's time to stand up to these homegrown terrorists. It's time to find out who's funding these professional victims who disrupt economic policy and sabotage the future of our province and sabotage the here and now. We're allowing 4 or 5% of the population to bully us for decades. Decades. All funded by our economic enemies. Who are they? Who's paying them? Once again, same playbook. Corrupt the few to control the many. And bingo, bango, boom, Central Canada has once again won. The Alberta independence movement has been outmaneuvered and derailed to the point where it would take years to build back. We can't listen to them. We can't believe their promises, because the promises are coming. They're going to pretend to like us. They hate us. History is an awful bully, a terrible, terrible tormentor. History is completely unforgiving if you forget her lessons.
You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Not quite what Rocky said. If we're serious about having honest elections and leading up to the independence vote, we need citizens groups to organize within each riding. Good people that will watch and record any shady shenanigans, like buses pulling up with old folks or questionable voters being marshaled by an organizer, or boxes showing up at side entrances at night. We need to take pictures. There needs to be video of everything that goes on. Or we may be watching Mr. Carney once again dancing to "I Cheat to Get What I Got." Okay, thanks for hanging with One Dumb Pilgrim. I'm Woody. Thank you, John Stossel. Come on, throw me an apple, like, and subscribe. I'm skating on out of here.